Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. This week, we're talking about the Jacob bar, or maybe it's just Jacob bar. Now, I don't know about your social media, but the side of the internet that I'm on is all food products and recipes and a lot of sass also. Nevertheless, I see ads for bars and products all the time. I saw a couple ads for a protein bar claiming to be the world's cleanest protein bar. So I added it to my list for us to look at together. It's called Jacob Bar, and we're going to figure this out. So does it live up to that hype? Now, it's named after the founder, Jake. He shares his story on the website that basically he had chronic asthma for a decade, and he says years of uneducated dietary and lifestyle choices had wreaked havoc on his gut. He made some changes, like removing what he calls junk-filled food, and his asthma disappeared. He essentially took the foods that helped him heal and created Jacob Bar. For him, it was the food thing. It was a mindset change. It was also an identity shift. Very fitting for our full episode from this week. And anyway, he realized that he held the potential to be his best self. And so that's, he says, what Jacob stands for, the best you. And I do want to highlight one more thing he said because I love it. He said, "My vision is to create a world in which everyone who cares about their health never has to compromise it." Well, yes, Jake, I am with you, and I am very hopeful that your bar delivers for us here on Salad with a Side of Fries. So now moving past the About page, we see their marketing. Again, the world's cleanest protein bar is what they say. And they talk about how most protein bars are loaded with ingredients that we don't want in our body. So they created one, or he created one that's truly clean. No seed oils, nothing artificial, 20 grams of grass-fed protein, real ingredients, again, nothing artificial. It also says, we believe your protein bar should be a delivery mechanism for essential micro and macronutrients. So, okay, cool. I love this. Talked a lot about how I think nutrient diversity is an overlooked tool, and with everybody protein packing everything, we're losing sight of micronutrients and fiber and other things that we need. Okay, so let's look at the bars. There are 3 flavors: chocolate, vanilla, and berry. You can get a variety pack. Now, pricing, they're not cheap. Well, I should say it this way. Okay, so if you get a variety pack of 9, they come out to almost $10 each. If you buy more, it brings the price down. And then they also have a subscription option where if you do that, it brings the price down even further. So if you get the 45 pack, it brings the price down to about $4 per bar. So now we're getting into something more reasonable, at least, more like what we would expect. But again, for the quality of what's here, hopefully it all delivers. So, okay. Now again, they share a list of what's not in the bar. And this list is a little longer. So it says no seed oils, no artificial sweeteners, no gluten, no soy, no gums, no sugar alcohols, no natural flavors, natural in air quotes, no stevia, no preservatives. And I think with this list, it might be a great option for many of you. They're certainly hitting a lot of the ingredients that can be deal breakers for some people. So let's go to the nutrition facts. And I think it's also worth noting the nutrition facts are not exactly the same across each of the flavors, which I appreciate. For today, though, I looked at the chocolate one. I'm not the biggest chocolate person, but it sounded the most appealing to me of the options at the moment. So we're going to go with chocolate. Okay, serving size 1 bar, 220 calories, 7 grams of fat with 2.5 grams of saturated fat. 20 grams of total carbs with 9 grams of fiber and 10 grams of total sugar, including 9 grams of added sugar, and then the 20 grams of protein. They show a little calcium, iron, and potassium. Now, considering that they were talking about micronutrients, I think I maybe expected more than this. It's just an observation, not a deal breaker. I think I just expected more. Anyway, the 20 grams of protein. So this is a snack size amount of protein. It's just under 3 ounces. I like the 9 grams of fiber. The net carbs are 11. So we have 20 grams of total carbs less than 9 grams of fiber. So the 11 grams of net carbs, it's a little higher than we would ideally like. And with that said, on balance with the rest of what's in there, again, that maybe isn't a deal breaker. You know, the fat is also a little higher than we'd like in an ideal scenario. And still, I'm saying not a deal breaker because we want to look at the ingredients. We want to see what the sources are. And that fat can also help with the slightly higher than ideal net carbs. So all in, I think we have a snack here that if I had it would probably last me about 2 to 3 hours. All right, let's go to the ingredients. Again, the chocolate flavor. We have grass-fed protein blend, which is made of whey protein isolate, milk protein isolate, bovine collagen, whey protein concentrate. Then we have organic tapioca fiber, organic honey, grass-fed beef tallow, organic dates, organic almond butter, organic chocolate extract, organic unsweetened chocolate, organic cacao powder, organic vanilla powder, and real sea salt. Okay, on the allergens, while there's so much that they told us is not in the bar, this may be an issue for those, certainly with tree nut allergies because of the almonds that were there. The other piece is there was organic almond butter in there. The other piece that may be an issue is milk allergies. So the isolates in the proteins are awesome, but they do have whey protein concentrate. So that one's still going to have lactose. So just an awareness piece, if those are important for you, we've talked about it. Overall, on the protein, I like it. Their note, they say, 20 grams of protein are all grass-fed, animal-based sources, which offers cleaner, more highly bioavailable protein. And yes, that's correct. And they also talk about how it supports muscle growth and function. The collagen supports skin, hair, and joint health, which, yes. So I'm on board with that. The 10 grams of total sugar, 9 grams of which are added sugar, we see in the ingredients, it's coming from honey and dates. And I'm a fan of those options. The honey also offers typically some antioxidants, some minerals, even sometimes some enzymes. So they also mention some of that too. So I like these sweeteners. And again, I like these as an alternative to some of the others that are alternative or sugar alcohols or some of those kinds of things. Okay, the beef tallow. This is one we haven't discussed much yet, although I think we're hearing a lot about it. I'm certainly hearing about it more and more over the last couple of years. And I'll add it to my list. We could do a dedicated nutrition nugget on beef tallow. For today, we see essentially it's their source of fat. The reason why people like it is because it offers more micronutrients than other fat sources. It also has choline and CLA. CLA is conjugated linoleic acid, and all of which means that it can support brain function, have anti-inflammatory properties, and may even support overall energy. So some plus signs there. And I also think on balance with the rest of our lives, hopefully the Jacob bar isn't the only thing we're ever eating, right? So I think depending on your allergies or sensitivities and your personal opinion of beef tallow, again, we'll do a separate nutrition nugget on that. I think I'm in on the Jacob bar, but I have 2 notes on it. One is I have to taste it. I am super curious what they taste like. If you have tried them, please let me know. I'm going to see if I can find them somewhere, or maybe I'll just bite the bullet and order them at $10 a piece. Because this brings us to my second note, which is how long they will last. So given the sweeteners that they're using and that ingredient list, there's nothing really in there that's acting like a preservative. So they may go bad relatively quickly, even if you haven't opened the package. So I had this once years ago. There was a company where you could go online and make your own bars. They would like custom make them. You'd pick the ingredients. Anyway, I had some that I just didn't eat quickly enough, and they spoiled like inside the package, inside the individual package of the bar. And spoiled might be the wrong word. They were essentially growing mold by the time I even opened the package to eat the one. So I didn't eat them quickly enough, which may be the case with the Jacob bars. I don't know. I am guessing, but I have had that experience with other bars. So I'm throwing it out there because of the ingredient list here. So maybe just keep that in mind. Again, maybe don't order the larger quantities unless you're really going to move through them. Although again, that brings the price down. So maybe my third note is the price. So I suppose I'm not 100% sure if the Jacob bar or Jacob bars will make us, the best versions of ourselves. I will say I'm willing to see. I'll give it a shot. So there you have it, friends. The scoop on Jacob bars. Well, as always, everybody, I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram or all social media. I am at Jenn Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Website is asaladwithasideoffries.com. Pick your platform, send a message, because I love hearing from you, your ideas, your questions, your takeaways. This is also the easiest way to learn more about working with me as your coach. Rita Black, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Jenn. This has been amazing.
Well, it's been a pleasure. And friends, if you are not already a member, join us in the Happy Healthy Hub. You'll go to asaladwithasideoffries.com/membership. This shows your support for this podcast, this community, and your health. On top of this week's episode in full video with behind the scenes pieces, your 24/7 Ask Me Anything on the community board. You'll also get this week's recipe for the 20-minute honey garlic chicken. Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.